Stranger Things has come to an end, and with that, we get one of the most divisive endings I think we've gotten in quite some time, which I think is great. I honestly think the ending was fine. I don't think a series finale needs to wrap up everything in a bow and all of that, but nonetheless, we all have different opinions. I mean, The Sopranos ending, it just, something. And I think that the ending here for Stranger Things was just what the show needed. We got to remember when the show was created and how it sort of has gone through so many changes. At one point, this was going to be an anthology, a limited series also. So, I mean, it's been a lot of evolutions throughout. And I think the Duffer Brothers had to be in a wall. They had to be against the corner. There was just no way they were going to appease everybody because the show grew into something more than just the show. The fandoms, the separate fandoms, the theories, everything that was floating around. And that's the thing I've come to realize growing older, watching many shows and movies, is these theories you make up in your mind are so grand and spectacular and you really want it to be this way. But at the end of the day, the show never promised you any of that. The show never said that this was going to be how it is. And at the end of the day, this is the Duffer Brothers show. And this is how they decided to end it. It doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it's their ending. So the biggest question, however, looming around after my ending explained, I will go live tonight, by the way, and we'll talk a little bit, maybe for like an hour or so, which should be fun. But the biggest thing is 11 dead? Of course, that is what everybody's asking. The whole thing about Callie and her devising this plan to help 11 escape has seemed sort of crazy to some people. And that theory goes on to say that maybe Mike is just sort of trying to cope. He is in a stage of grieving. He is the game master. He wants to make this a story what it is. But at the end of the day, Mike is the game master as well. So if he's saying that this is what happens, this is what happens, right? He's never really been wrong about anything. And if he is sort of set on this belief here, then that's what it is. I think one of the things we see Mike realize at graduation is the sound. When he realizes that and he thinks back to that night, he realizes that the sound wasn't affecting 11 anymore. And the only reason that would happen is because that wasn't really 11 there. It was just the illusion that Callie, of course, helped to make. And so Mike's theory that he tells to the group, or his way of coping with it to tell everybody, is that 11 survived because Callie ultimately used her last breaths to give 11 the life that she needed. And this was because she saw 11 with Hopper and the life that she had created and all of this, and wanted 11 to continue on. This was not the end of 11's path, as Callie says. It is just hers. And so Callie gave 11 invisibility in order to be able to escape and get out of there. And then she made the apparition of 11 appear in order for everybody to think she was gone, and also gave Mike that final message. And I think that was such a great way to really wrap it up. That final message, of course, is coming from 11. It is a message about love and everything she has felt. And I mean, if you can't even believe that that was really what happened, stranger things have happened, right? Corny a joke to start off the year, I know, but hey, we're trying some new stuff here on the channel. So the Duffer Brothers have gone on to talk about this ending, because just as Will asks at the end to Mike after he tells him this elaborate theory of how Callie helped 11 survive, now she is in a far place, safe but alone, but ultimately happy, and they will be too. He says to Mike, "How do we know it's true?" Which Mike says, "We don't, not for sure, but I choose to believe that it is." And apparently we have the same choice. This, of course, is D&D. It's a choice game, right? Ross Duffer goes on to say, "There was never a version of the story where 11 was hanging out with the gang at the end. For us and our writers, we didn't want to take her powers away. She represents magic in a lot of ways, and the magic of childhood. For our characters to move on, and for the story of Hawkins and the Upside Down to come to a close, 11 had to go away. If 11 is out there, the most that they could hope for is a belief that it's true, because they can't be in contact with her. Everything falls apart if that were the case. So if that's the narrative, this is really the best way to keep her alive, and it's about Mike and everyone finding a way to move past what's happened." So they don't really go on to say that she is dead or not, and it's up to you what your ending is. I don't think anybody's going to convince anybody otherwise. I mean, we could go back and watch the episode, try to examine for clues and all of that, but I think what the Duffer Brothers have given us here is a really great ending to these characters. These characters ultimately just grew up. I know a lot of people feel it was underwhelming. They were mad that things didn't happen, that characters didn't stay with certain characters, that certain actions didn't happen in the episode that they were hoping was going to happen for seasons. These wild theories that the Duffer Brothers never even came across themselves, and they were disappointed by it. Instead of just watching the show, just feeling it, because I'm telling you, the feeling you get watching that scene with Mike and with 11 in that final moment is just a scene of growth growing up. Mike is leaving 11 behind. 11 is leaving this group behind. They are growing. They are taking responsibility. And I ultimately thought that's what the ending of the show was really pushing towards. These kids that we met 9 years ago are not kids anymore. They are growing up and they are growing into adulthood and ultimately leaving behind all of these things. And I thought it was just a really fascinating way to look at it. I do want to, of course, say that Jamie, who plays here Vecna, is just an incredible actor. I cannot stop thinking about some of the scenes in this finale, and I'm curious to see what he does next because truly talented. We'll talk more about all of that in the theory videos that I'm going to be doing and live discussions as well. But I just wanted to come on here to talk about that controversial ending and ask you, yes, you, the question, is 11 dead? Is she alive? What do you think really happened? Do you think Mike is just coping with all of this? Or do you think he had an aha moment and realized, wait, she wasn't affected by the sound. This has to be what happened, and that's pretty much it. Did 11 leave him a secret message? We don't know. We'll never know. But I think I really love this whole thing about you choosing what you want to believe is the truth out there, because strange things happened throughout this whole series that seemed like unbelievable that would ever happen. The group had a ton of aha moments throughout that just didn't really, if you really think about them too much, make sense, but it works. It's how the story goes. Mike has been the storyteller the whole time, and if he is telling you this is what happened, I think this is what happened. But like the Duffer Brothers say, it's up to you. It's your choice to believe what happens or not. And at the end of the day, I'm going to choose to believe that 11 is somewhere out there. I do think that Callie really felt something seeing 11 and how she was with everybody and sort of wanting to give her that special opportunity to continue on and not for both of them to go. So I just choose to believe that. But I'm curious what you believe. And I'm not saying you're wrong or right either. We're just here. We're just hopeful, right? And if you think that 11 is dead, I'm curious to know why in the comments down below. But we'll talk more in the live discussions. Probably going to do a Stranger Things weekend binge and just talk about certain things. So stay tuned for that. Hit that subscribe button. 2026 has come to a start, and we are definitely getting geared up for a ton of other videos. Don't miss out on it. We got a ton of screenings we're going to in the next 2 weeks, which I'm super excited for because all 3 movies, I am pumped. But anyways, I'll see all of you next time. Let me know your thoughts and theories below. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see y'all next time. Stay safe. Stay positive.